Kosovo self-declared independent country in the Balkans region of Europe. Although the United States and most members of the European Union recognized Kosovo's declaration of independence from Serbia in 28, Serbia, Russia, and a significant number of other countries, including several EU members, did not. Given this lack of international consensus, Kosovo was not immediately admitted to the United Nations. In 2010, the International Court of Justice ruled that Kosovo's declaration of independence did not violate international law, but Serbia rejected that decision. The name Kosovo is derived from a Serbian place name meaning field of blackbirds. After serving as the center of a medieval Serbian empire, Kosovo was ruled by the Ottoman Empire from the mid-15th to the early 20th century, a period when Islam grew in importance and the population of Albanian speakers in the region increased. In the early 20th century, Kosovo was incorporated into Serbia. By the second half of the century, the largely Muslim ethnic Albanians outnumbered the predominantly Eastern Orthodox Serbs in Kosovo, and interethnic tensions frequently roiled the province. History of Kosovo. A broad treatment of the history of the Kosovo region from the medieval era to the present follows. For earlier history, and for further discussion of the historical Albanian and Serb populations, Balkans, Albania, and Serbia. From late antiquity through the late Middle Ages, much of the Balkans lay within the borderlands of the Byzantine Empire. South Slav peoples, including the Serbs, settled throughout the peninsula from the 6th century CE forward. Meanwhile, an ethnically and linguistically distinct Albanian settlement already had begun to develop in the southwest in what is now Albania. As Byzantine power waned, the Kosovo region became, by the later Middle Ages, the center of the Serbian Empire under the Nemanjic dynasty. By available accounts, its population was overwhelmingly Serb, but did include a small Albanian minority. Land. A landlocked country, Kosovo is bordered by Serbia to the north and east, North Macedonia to the south, Albania to the west, and Montenegro to the northwest. Kosovo, about the same size as Jamaica or Lebanon, is the smallest country in the Balkans. Plant and animal life. Despite its small area, Kosovo boasts a rich assortment of plant species, including about a dozen that are found only in Kosovo. Forests cover about 2/5 of the land, with oak trees predominating in lower elevations and pines growing in the mountains. Animal life is relatively diverse as well. Brown bears, Eurasian lynx, wildcats, gray wolves, foxes, chamois, roe deer, and red deer are among the mammals that inhabit the mountainous border regions. More than 200 species of birds live in Kosovo or migrate there seasonally. People, ethnic groups. In the second half of the 20th century, as a result of Serbian outmigration and higher Albanian birth rates, there was a dramatic shift in the ethnic composition of Kosovo. The Albanian share of the population rose from about half in 1946 to about 4/5 by the 1990s. Meanwhile, the proportion of Serbs fell to less than 1/5. After the Kosovo conflict of 1998 to 99, additional Serbs immigrated. Thus, in the early 21st century, the population makeup was approximately 9/10 Albanian and less than 1/10 Serb, with the remainder comprising Bosniaks, traditionally itinerant people that are commonly classified as Roma but regard themselves as distinct Turks, Gorani and Muslim South Slavic people, Croats, and Montenegrins. The Serbs are concentrated in northern Kosovo, particularly in Mitrovica, as well as around Sh Terps on the North Macedonian border. Languages. Albanian and Serbian are the official languages of Kosovo. According to the 2008 Constitution, Turkish, Bosnian, and Romani also have official status in relevant municipalities. The Albanian spoken in Kosovo is a subvariety of the Gek dialect. It is commonly known as Kosovars. Standard literary Albanian is used in written communication and in the broadcast media. Serbo-Croatian, also known as Bosnian Croatian Serbian, is the language spoken by Serbs, Bosniaks, Croats, and Montenegrins. However, speakers of BCS tend to refer to their own language as Serbian, Bosnian, Croatian, Montenegrin, depending on their ethnicity, and consider it to be distinct from the other group languages despite mutual intelligibility. Religion of Kosovo. Kosovo does not have an official religion. More than 9/10 of the people, including most Albanians, are Muslim. A significant proportion of Muslims are only nominally, so many do not regularly attend mosque services, although fasting for Ramadan is widely practiced. Most of the Serbs and some Roma are Eastern Orthodox. A small minority of the population, consisting mainly of Albanians and Croats, are Roman Catholic. Despite early competition with Roman Catholicism, Eastern Orthodoxy became the predominant faith in Kosovo in the Middle Ages, when the region was the center of a Serbian empire. Islam arrived with the conquering Ottoman Turks, who from the mid-15th century controlled the region for more than 4 centuries. Although much of the population eventually became Muslim, the region retained its Orthodox heritage, and the Patriarchate was restored from 1557 to 1766. Economy. Kosovo has long been one of the poorest, least developed regions of the Balkans. During the second half of the 20th century, when Kosovo was a part of the Republic of Serbia, a number of the Yugoslav republics objected to the federal economic support given to Kosovo. This controversy ultimately contributed to the dissolution of Yugoslavia in 1991. Following the 1998-99 conflict, Kosovo's economy was boosted by the large installation of international administrators. In addition, the use of the euro, which Kosovo unofficially adopted in 2002 and continued to use after declaring independence in 2008, helped to bridle inflation. Although the post-independence government worked to strengthen the market economy, particularly by privatizing state-controlled businesses, Kosovo continued to rely heavily on remittances from Kosovars working abroad, as well as on international aid. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing. About half of Kosovo's area is agricultural land, worked mostly in family plots for subsistence. Kosovo is not self-sufficient in food production, however. Before 1999, agriculture accounted for 1/3 of the gross domestic product. A decade later, it accounted for just over 1/10. About half the farmland is used for growing grains, mainly wheat and corn, as well as potatoes, berries, and peppers. Pastures and meadows constitute most of the remainder. The high cost of agricultural machinery, seeds, and fertilizers has inhibited the increase of agricultural production. Industrial pollution of soil and water also poses a serious problem in many areas. Most of the timber harvested is used for fuel. Fisheries are most developed in western Kosovo, notably in Istal. Health and welfare. A public system provides subsidized health care to citizens. Life expectancy for men is about 70 years, which is just under the European average. For women in Kosovo, life expectancy is slightly higher but remains well below the European average of nearly 80. In the post-independence era, many public services, in addition to health care, electricity, water supply, waste collection, and sewage disposal, required significant improvement. Water quality is very good. Many urban areas and most rural areas are not connected to any public water system. Education. A small number of multi-ethnic schools were established after the 1998-99 conflict, but ethnic tensions jeopardized their success. At the primary and secondary levels, most children attend separate Albanian or Serb schools. The language divide between these groups is reinforced by vastly different lessons on geography and history. The University of Pristina, founded in 1970, is the major public university in Kosovo. It is now primarily an Albanian language institution that also serves Albanian populations in Serbia, North Macedonia, and Montenegro. The Serb component of the university relocated to Mitrovica in the early 21st century. There it became known as the University of Mitrovica, although many Serbs continue to refer to it as the University of Pristina. The English Language American University in Kosovo is a private post-secondary institution that was founded in 1923. Cultural life. The cultural lives of Kosovo's Albanians and Serbs, although distinctive, bear many resemblances to those of the peoples of Albania and Serbia respectively. For further information on the cultures of those countries, Albania cultural life and Serbia cultural life. Traditional Kosovar society for both Albanians and Serbs has an important patriarchal tradition, with extended family members often living together in large groups. Family support networks remain very strong even when some members live outside the country. Most business connections are made through these networks. Reflecting the Albanian customary law, blood feuds between families were a fairly common occurrence, especially in western Kosovo, until the 1990s, when University of Pristina professor Anton Seda and other activists led an anti-vendetta campaign.